Okay.
You said at the start, Prof, that you were worried that this might have serious consequences for the system of government. What kind of consequences are you talking about?
I say impeachment is part of checks and balances. No? It's a way of addressing abuses of power by certain government officials. Parang kung if all the commentaries are correct, then we have, if the Supreme Court derailed the Constitution, as you said, if they had actually made it impossible to file impeachment cases in the future, then that's a serious consequence, no? Because we have removed one of the most effective ways dapat of making these officials accountable for their actions. Eh ngayon, hindi na alam ng mga tao kung ano kung magagawa nila, no? Just the mere just addressing all the new requirements. And again, these requirements seem to have no constitutional anchor. Parang nakaka-discourage.
Tapos sir, I'm a bit confused kasi ang desisyon ng Senado magbubutuhan sila sa August 6 dito sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema. So kung ganun, I suppose the presumption is that the Senate is going to decide whether or not to obey the Supreme Court. Kasi hindi going to vote in it
But technically, hindi pa tapos yung case, di ba? Kasi magpa-file ng motion for reconsideration. So merong leeway, di ba? There's some space to suggest that the trial should proceed. Except that and they don't have the votes, I think. Hindi pa legal yung issue dyan eh. Legally, can they do it? Yes, because the case has not been decided with finality. So pwede pa. But on the other hand, I'm not even sure they have enough votes to begin the trial.
Yeah, there's also that.
That's the other thing. So what's the recourse for ordinary citizens now? Because if as you say, suddenly there's all these processes and rules around impeaching public officials, which of course is the highest penalty for a sitting official if they've abused their position. What can people do? What's the recourse at this point?
Well, the other remedies are being pursued. No? Kaya nga may motion for reconsideration. I think for many of those who want to intervene, it is kahit na unlikely na ma-reverse, it is for the record, no, that we are objecting to the interpretation ng Supreme Court. Now, failing that, technically, there's always impeachment ng justices. Sorry. Kaya lang,
Maraming sir.
impeach mo yung, let's say ma-impeach mo yung 13, you have to. You cannot just pick the ponente kasi hindi naman yan decision ni Justice Leonan eh.
Yeah.
That is a decision of the entire court. Pag na-impeach mo sila, sinong magta-try sa kanila? Yung Senate. The Senate is so grateful for what the Supreme Court did.
Yeah.
Because they removed this burden of dismissing the case, di ba? From the Senate, and the Supreme Court did it for them. So, again, kahit na may legal remedy tayo, and the remedy is impeachment, it is unlikely that they will be removed or be found guilty by the Senate, assuming a trial is held. Magkakaroon pa yun ng complication kasi if you impeach the justices tapos may constitutional question, sino magde-decide?
Pero di ba kung sakaling ma-impeach, mag-a-appoint ang presidente ng mga bago?
No, because impeachment, hindi pa siya na-remove.
Hindi. Kung halimbawa, theoretically, makonvict sila sa Senate, then the president can appoint a new set of justices.
Yes.
Pwede kasi yung impeachment can just be symbolic. Para lang ipakita sa Supreme Court na hindi kayo untouchable.
Kaya
Exactly. Yung political statement, no? Pwedeng statement yan na we disagree with what you said to the point na impeach namin kayo. So legally that can be done.
Mas less of a constitutional crisis kasi yung impeachment kesa dun sa hindi mo susundin yung desisyon ng Supreme Court. Diba mas pupunta yun sa constitutional crisis eh. Sasabihin halimbawa ng ng Senate o ng House na hindi namin kayo susundin. Yun ang constitutional crisis. Pero kung halimbawa, as a political statement, i-impeach namin kayo. Ang audience namin, hindi naman ang Senate. Ang i-audience namin yung tao. Just to emphasize a point, yun, hindi pupunta sa constitutional crisis.
Hindi, because even if you carry out the impeachment process, that's the point. You followed the Constitution.
Yes.
Paano ko sabihin ng Supreme Court, you did not follow due process in your impeachment?
Ay, hindi hindi,
Batas
mukhang,
naman kayo.
mukhang ang objective,
Nagugulo lang ako.
ang objective naman, hindi para matuloy eh.
What are your thoughts, Professor, on, well, rightly or wrongly, na politicized na issue, and a lot of people are pointing to the fact that at least nine of the justices were appointed by former President Duterte. And
Nine ba? O
at least 9. Hindi ko sure eh.
Alam ko
I
12
lost
eh.
track. Is it
12
12 now? 12 now, okay, 12. So yeah, a lot of people are pointing to that, and drawing the conclusion now, well, okay, they're Duterte appointees, therefore they would toe the line, right? Is that a fair assessment? What do you think?
I think we should avoid making those kinds of conclusions. It undermines yung objectivity ng Supreme Court. Parang what we're going to say is every time may issue against the Dutertes, they will win. Right? And that's just not the way the system works. And it's so hard to prove it anyway.
Yeah.
Kahit totoo. Hindi, hypothetically.
Matotrouble kami ba?
Hypothetical lang.
Siya
No? Halimbawa, kung totoo man yun, paano mo papatunayan?
That's you, not us.
Paano mo papatunayan? Kahit totoo.
Sir, let me ask you about the second part of the decision, which is yung question of due process that was raised by the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court is looking for example, a notice to the respondent, all the evidence to be given to the respondent as well, and the respondent to have the chance to answer the allegations. These were, if I recall correctly, these were never on the table in previous impeachment complaints. For example, yung impeachment ni Erap when Villar ran the impeachment complaint through the House plenary. Wala namang ganon, and it's also the House, according to the Constitution, that's given the authority to set the rules.
Yes, I agree. So, yun nga eh. The other criticism against the court is parang you're micromanaging the House. And that goes against what the provision you cited about how it is the House that has the sole authority to impeach officials. Eh ngayon, gusto nilang malaman kung nabasa niyo ba lahat yan, or did every member of the House receive a copy? Di ba? Bigyan ko lang kayo ng isang scenario why that's ridiculous. Kasi halimbawa, di ba pag nag-file yung member ng House, nakakuha siya ng 1/3, diretso na yan sa, di ba?
Yes,
sa Senate.
Constitutes the articles of impeachment na.
Tapos trial shall proceed forthwith, Mr. Chief. Di ba? Halimbawa, 2/3 nga yung nakuha nilang votes. Pwede mo bang inalify yung impeachment kasi sabihin nila, well, the 1/3 did not get a copy of the impeachment complaint? Diba? Let's say they did. Anong gagawin ng 1/3? I-veto nila yung 2/3? Walang sense eh. And it goes to, nabasa nyo ba yan? Mukhang hindi nyo nabasa. There wasn't enough time. And that's all wrong.
The last thing, Professor, that we were wondering about is the timing of it all. Did it strike you as unusual that the Supreme Court was issued a decision seemingly fast, at least for us, to us outsiders? It looked like it was came a little bit fast, and also it came, just before the president's SONA, and also on a week when it was storming. So the government work and classes were called off the entire week. Did anything about the timing of it all strike you as unusual?
Sabi nga ni Chief Justice Panganiban, Prof, parang ang bilis. Na-receive nila on the 19, on the 20, yung sagot ng House. Tapos isinulat yung 97 pages. Tapos dinistribute sa mga fellow justices, dineliberate at nagbotohan, habang for 1 week ay canceled ang mga opisina. So, parang nagtanong mismo yung former Chief Justice Panganiban, bakit ang bilis ng mga pangyayari? Sa inyong experience, sa ganitong mga landmark decision, ganyan ba talaga kabilis? Wala ba talagang kaunti man lang debate or pag-open sa public ng ganyang klaseng proseso?
Well, there's nothing in the Constitution that requires na i-open sa public. No? And there's also no requirement na wag masyadong mabilis. I'm just saying, in fact, I'm sure you know this, no? Sometimes it takes years for these really important constitutional questions to be resolved. Kasi gusto nila, they want to get it right, di ba? That's kaya may oral arguments many times, di ba? Sa isang kaso, it can have 5-6 days devoted to oral arguments. So, is it unusually fast? Yes. Yes. But I cannot, wala akong i-extrapolate, wala akong i-insinuate na it's just because
Sino na lang
mabilis yung
na-insinuate?
pag-decide. Sabihin nila, pag mabagal kami, nagagalit kayo.
Yeah, yeah. But basically, you've been teaching constitutional law for a long time, and I guess you would know what the usual pace of the Supreme Court is when it comes to landmark decisions, right? So,
It's
yeah.
fast, really fast.
Pero
Ang
sir,
nag-extrapolate sa EDS.
Pero sir, on the other hand, the original petition was filed by Attorney Torion in mid-February, which in fact made us wonder na bakit ang tagal-tagal na hindi ginalaw ng Korte Suprema itong petition na final nung after kasi ng impeachment nagsampa na si Torion and Company.
Pero meron
I
namang
remember
court
that.
read. Meron namang
Yeah.
court read. Diba?
Pero yun nga, it took several months before the Supreme Court started moving on it and started asking for documents and the information from both chambers So ang tagal, although mabilis, parang apparently mabilis yung galaw magmula nung pumasok ang mga dokumento, pero ang tagal bago magsimula ang proseso.
But we are assuming na wala silang discussion/deliberations na all the time since February. I mean, we don't know, but they might have been discussing it.
Yeah.
Tapos they just realized, no, we think we need more information from the House, and that's
Okay.
why they sent that directive asking the House to provide more information. Diba?
There, that's also true.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave that there for now. We've run out of time, but thank you so much for talking to us and shedding light on this big issue. That's Professor Dan
Thank you, Prof.
Gatmaitan, Constitutional Law Professor at UP. Salamat, sir.
Salamat, Prof.
Thank you, sir.